Hello and welcome. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. This is Brian, and we're going to be playing some Super Mario Brothers Wonder. My kids have been playing this game all weekend, and Dad hasn't got a turn, and now it is Dad's turn. Super Mario, as just a franchise, has been one of the most important franchises in my gaming history. Super Mario World is my far favorite 2D Mario game, and from what I've already kind of seen with the kids playing this game already, it's absolutely massive. So whether you're here with me live, we are everywhere. So you can check the links in the description. The other thing I'm going to ask, if you're watching this, especially as a VOD and you want to help me out, I've been challenged by my fellow comedians to get over 1,000 Instagram followers. And I think right now I'm close to 150. So thank you guys so much for the support. The links are all in the description. So if you want to watch on Kick, on Twitch, or here on YouTube, you can watch wherever you most enjoy and prefer, because Twitch has made some big changes to their policies, and now it's much easier to stream everywhere. So hopefully you guys are doing well, no matter what you're doing, what you're playing. Also, how I run live streams. If you're curious, we're hanging out in Discord. I'm going to bring the Discord chat in for a little bit. We're going to play, we're going to talk, we're going to see how everybody's doing. And we can talk about all the announcements that happened over the course of this weekend, especially as it relates to Final Fantasy 14, as it relates to Vana'diel as a part of the Alliance raid, which is a huge get, in my opinion. I hope they do that very well. I'm very excited for that, and makes me wonder what, and hopefully that they're doing some more related to Final Fantasy 11 in the near future. But anyway, there's plenty to talk about. I've been continuing to lose weight. I actually fit. I'm wearing my first pair of gold jeans today, and what the gold jeans are is that these are a 40 waist. So I was at a 44 waist, and I was like, hey, my belt, it goes up to 4 notches now. And the best news about that was I ended up having it I can do actually 5 notches, but because I don't actually have that extra-ness of the 44-inch waist. So weight loss progress is continuing to go strong. I'm very happy about that. And now I'm going to let in the Discord chat, and we're going to have some fun. What's up, Wes? I see you over there in chat. I appreciate you being here. And we've got the Discord chats up. I'm going to be stepping into some Super Mario Wonder. But yeah, how you guys doing today?
Doing good.
I don't want to be random.
It's me, Mario.
It's me, Mario.
Might have heard your game.
You might have heard my game. Like, do you think the game's coming across the Discord?
Well, I heard it's me, Mario.
Oh,
that's
It's the sound. It's my soundboard effect.
Oh,
for Brian.
You son of a.
Oh, hey. Dark Lantern with 73 months. You insane, amazing person. Thank you so much for that support.
Here, I'll do it again, Brian.
Yeah, do it again.
It's
There it is.
me, Mario.
Yeah, that was actually way louder than I had the game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
73 months. That's 6 years and 1 month.
6 years in 1 month. Thanks for doing the math.
You're welcome.
That's insane. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Hopefully you're doing well,
added
Dark
in
Lantern.
A couple soundboards to work the game Discord too.
Just two. Just two.
Wes with tier 3, 50 months, dude. Holy freaking smokes, man. That's amazing. And also, we haven't had a chance to talk. What did you think about all the news from FanFest yesterday?
Underwhelming.
Underwhelming. Okay.
No, I'm just
I've heard
kidding.
people not a fan of Viper already, and I'm like, wait to feel it.
It's
It
Darth
seems
Maul.
like a cool class. I mean, is it gonna get me to play the game again? No, but I mean, it's a Darth Maul class basically.
I guess so. What do you think? I want to hear what Wes thinks when he gives his like. Yeah.
I was talking to Yemmer about it yesterday, and he was like, "What the hell is Viper?" And I'm like, "It's an FF14 exclusive." That's what they said. But though, too, I'm also looking at it because I was watching, because I went back into your stream yesterday because I missed the whole entire thing. I got logged on enough to where I could say hi bye to you and Chris.
It's like, hello and goodbye.
I logged back and seen the class reveal, and I'm like, Sword Art Online, Kirito.
Okay. And now I see that. Yeah, that comment. I've seen that people say that as well. Wes, what did you think, man?
It's bottom line to me, like I think as Cole called it, it was Darth Maul, pretty much, because you can stick the swords together and have the double-bladed.
Go ahead.
But the rest of the stuff was normal. Like here's for stuff for the next expansion.
Mm-hmm.
We're still waiting for whatever it's going to happen at Japan Fan Fest, so it's going to be like this is part 1 or part 3 basically at this point. We're also waiting on part 4, and was okay. I wasn't really overwhelmed by anything. I wasn't really underwhelmed by anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the thing, obviously the Vana'diel thing was like important for me. Hey, what's up, Kirk? I see you jumping here in the Discord. How you doing, dude?
What's going on, guys? I love how that's like that's George Lucas's level of impact on the societal zeitgeist. Is like, you know, just one day he's like, yeah, I think I'll have the villain. He'll have 2 lightsabers. It'll be connected, and he'll fight like with both ends of the. Yeah,
that was cool. I remember that reveal though. Like that was
forever for all time. Just anybody that fights with a sword on both ends is a Darth Maul. Like,
yeah,
that's the level of like George Lucas. Just like he's just shooting the crap like in his living room. Like, you know, I think I'll have a guy named Jar Jar Binks. You know, like, just okay, George. Just go ahead and, you know, frame the entire butterfly effect for the future of, like, you know, characters that are going to be spawned off of your dumb ideas. I love it.
Not gonna lie, Darth Maul was an underutilized character.
Oh, like most of the people in that trilogy, I would say. Heck, even like Boba Fett, underutilized. There are a lot of great characters that are underutilized. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack this with like a Star Wars discussion.
Dude, yeah,
it's okay.
Feel free, I'm
a Star Wars nerd to a certain degree, so I get you.
I think that's also something that makes characters iconic. Is you either have the ones that are utilized to great effect, like obviously like a Darth Vader, or you have like sort of that what if scenario. Like you have a character that's as intriguing as a Boba Fett, and this is obviously like not just a Star Wars thing.
What's up, Salty? How you doing, dude? Feel free to come hang out with us in Discord too, by the way, Salty. Like we're just hanging out talking. Shooting the stuff.
What could have been aspect of like, oh, that guy was really cool. I would like to see more of that. So that's the whole thing with Darth Maul is like, you know, he gets chopped in half like way before you expect him to, and you're like, oh, okay, I thought he was gonna be like the next Darth Vader. I guess not. Then, but he was really cool, and like that's almost sort of like what makes him iconic.
I mean, also too, like the thing that makes him iconic is just he's like freaking crazy looking, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where it's like when they kept saying like his look confused me because then they kept referring to other people as a part of the Sith, and I'm like, they don't look like Darth Maul, and it's like, oh wait a minute.
Oh no, yeah, that's just his like race of people.
He's a Dathomirian who is affected by the Night Sisters. By Dathomirian magic, I think.
I think what really made that whole character was like I wish I could remember the gentleman's name because he deserves a shout out, but whoever was like the, you know, Capricara style like acrobatic person that did all the choreography for him, like all of the lightsaber fighting and stuff. I mean, just absolutely insane, like just twirling around and stuff.
Something Park, I can't remember his first.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't know, but he's like crazy good work that he did.
Yeah.
As that
played a Frog in the first X-Men film as well.
Oh yeah.
It's not Ryan Park, it's something Park. I can't remember his name.
Of course, I also like the voice actor that was Sam Weathers, who also voiced the Star Killer in the Unleashed series.
Sam Witwer.
So he was the Rebels voice actor. It was actually Peter Serafinowicz in the Phantom Menace, which he modeled his voice after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Saltius says in chat, says, I need to buy this. I heard it feels like Super Mario World on the SNES. And from what I've seen with the kids playing today, yes, like this is a Super Mario World quality and, in a way,
got
kind of
that
the
vibrant
follow-up.
feel, doesn't it?
It feels not just the vibrancy, but it's like there's a level of fun and animation that the new Super Mario Brothers didn't have, and I'm so glad they dropped the name new off of it, because it was like that. Like, why are you calling it that? And the animation.
There's been so many like
good.
loyal 2D Mario fans that have just sort of like grinded it out through the whole new Super Mario series that are like finally getting sort of the vindication of like everybody's able to sort of come out and be like, holy crap, okay, I really didn't like those new games. Like, you know, like they just like didn't say anything. They're like, okay, it's fine, Nintendo. Like, as long as you give us more Mario games, like we won't rag on your games. Like, it's fine.
I won't
like,
complain.
Now that these games come out, like everybody's like, oh, those new games are like so bad. Like finally everybody's like ready to slag off those. It's really funny to see.
You know, did you just see Elephant Mario try to get down the tube? He was too fat.
He's got to squeeze, and then you also have like regular Mario, where like his hat might fall off, and so like there's a lot of like when he comes out of the pipe, he doesn't just like come out running. He's like kind of peeks around and looks around. It is amazing. Like I am loving the experience, and can't wait to see what all the secrets they have. I've seen this level my kids play. This is insane. The piranha plants are singing, guys.
How are you streaming it? Like with the capture cards?
Yeah.
How much do capture cards cost for the Switch?
I have.
It's completely dependent on
it's the PC.
Like, what you're gonna get. Like if you like in terms of like if you wanted something that functionally could capture and let you stream Switch gameplay, you could get it for as low as like $30.
Yeah, there's like there's add-on ones. Mine's actually built into the computer, so it's like I just have it HDMI into my PC.
That's nice.
Yeah. It is. I like that's what when I was ordering my PC, I was like, this is what I want. I just want to be able to like plug it in via HDMI, and I can show it up and capture this.
It basically depends on what specs you want. Like if you just were gonna get a 1080p 30 FPS card, like that's very affordable.
Yeah.
Once you want to be able to capture that it's 60 FPS, that's gonna go up, and then if you want 4K, that's gonna go up by like a lot.
Right. Well, I just heard like because my friend was like trying to stream like Super Smash Brothers on the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Like Ultimate. And he said the problem is it becomes really, really laggy. And I was like, I wonder if that's because it's a cheat card or if it's possible to like not get a laggy.
If he's playing online, then the game is just laggy. Like Smash is like notorious for that.
That's Smash Brothers. Even not just online. Like I tried to do a direct connect with my nephew. We were playing some Smash, and then it just got to the point where like we're just gonna go on the same system. It's just unplayable over.
Nintendo is
direct
notorious
connect.
for having crappy internet.
Yeah, that's where it's like. That's where. Did y'all see what Doug Bowser tweeted out this last week?
No.
So he was asked about like the Microsoft acquisition of Nintendo, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not worried about that. I see Nintendo as a partner," which tells me like what that signals to me. Not that this is like me announcing anything that I know that's secret.
Wait, you said Doug Bowser? Is that who you meant to say?
Yeah, did I? What did I say?
You said Doug Bowser, but how he sees Nintendo as a partner?
Yeah, Doug Bowser, who's the president of the Nintendo America, sees Microsoft as a partner.
Oh, you said Nintendo as a partner. Okay, yeah. Doug Bowser sees Microsoft as a partner.
In terms of that, where it's like when you start to think about the hope that I have is like Microsoft is like, yeah, Nintendo's not going to go build a cloud, streaming, like data center. But Microsoft's got that, and when it comes down to it, it's pick your oligarch. Is it Microsoft, Amazon? I don't know Tencent. I don't know what their tech stack is, but who am I forget? Google. So basically Microsoft, Amazon, or Google for your tech stack for cloud and servers and stuff like that. Salty says Super Mario World was the game that got me hooked on gaming. Super Mario World. That's what I'm kind of evaluating this game on. Is like, does this live up to, does this beat Super Mario World for me? Because Mario World was such a great game. It still is. Like, I honestly, I remember there's been multiple times where my sister and I would go and we would 100% that game. Like, oh yeah, it's the summer, this year. Let's just play Super Mario World back to back and get all the secrets. And like when you get that Star Road and then that Star Road secret where you have all these in like even harder difficulty items. The nice thing about it is like, this has that ability to store that extra item, so I can take an item with me into a level, which I think opens up lots of replay ability for different levels, you know. Oh no, there we go. Whoop, he almost got me. Oh, I need some water. I like that I can store water in my trunk. It's just like these little touches that it's just, they feel so perfect.
So
And
what's the map like? Like, cause I seen you open the map, but is it like?
I don't know.
Like you go
My
left
kids
and
have spent
right,
way
left
more
and-
time on this game than I have.
Got you. Because you know,
They're
Super
literally
Mario
playing it
World,
right
like-
now, and I was like, "Hey, can I get this?" I have a oh crap! Oh no, I lost more of my elephant. But the animations, guys, like this is so beautiful. Like I like the art style so much more.
I've seen a lot of people like sort of ragging on the new, like new as in the name new, not like new this game. The new series aesthetic versus this one. And I know that that's sort of a gripe and like a refreshing part of this game. But other than sort of the aesthetic and sort of animations and anything that comes down to like the visual and auditory and etc. sensory experience that you're having with the game, in terms of the actual like gameplay and the mechanics, what was new lacking that you feel like this game is like sort of delivering on, if anything?
I thought like so I enjoyed the new series. Like that's where I remember when the first new Super Mario came out, I ended up like huffing that like I was like a drug. And so my like what I kind of chalked up my lack of enjoyment was like we had been so starved for a 2D Mario game, felt like I hadn't eaten in years, and so all of a sudden someone's like, here's this buffet, so I just kept like, oh yeah, Super Mario, yum yum yum. But I think overall like the level design and the like when you also look at it with the like on the Wii and in the Wii U, you know, kind of era, the level design just kind of felt non-mysterious. I don't know if that makes sense. Where in Super Mario World, it felt like a constant set of discovery. In the new Super Mario Brothers series, it's like, I know what this is. And we saw that because they also would bring back a lot of the same power-ups or power-ups we haven't seen in a while. You know, so it's like, okay, yeah, I know how the Tanuki suit works. Does that make sense? I could have hit down the whole time. Mario, well, and we should categorize the 3D Marios and the 2D Marios are vastly different. Super Mario Odyssey was my game of the year, and sorry to Zelda fans out there, like Odyssey is a freaking gem. But that's where like it felt like also the effort was put into the 3Ds, which like that makes sense, right?
Super Mario Odyssey, the one where he's like in the city with Pauline.
The city and all the different stuff, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've heard really good things about that game.
Oh yeah, Odyssey was great, and if you never get if you get the chance to play it, like my wife and I will sit down and just like I said, like me and my sister would sit down and oh yeah, he's got a wonder flower. Let's get it. Yeah, give me that.
I was gonna ask you.
Oh, this is so cool. Oh my gosh,
If
it's
Tears of the
raining
Kingdom-
invincibility stars. Let's
It hasn't
go.
quite happened yet. Now it's coming. Yeah.
Here, I got another soundboard for you.
Got him. What's up, Ramsey? Also, Solemn with a 1 year. Guys, let's celebrate Solemn with 1 year over on Twitch. Thank you so much. Using that Prime sub. If you guys aren't aware, Bezos lets you drop Amazon Prime subs on gamers. So whether you use it here or you use it elsewhere, be sure to use those Bezos bucks every month. But now we can stream everywhere. Like Twitch just announced this. This is so massive. It's such a nice thing. I was doing it anyway, and somebody was like, "You shouldn't do that." And it's like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna change their policies.
So are you a partner or whatever? Because I don't think.
Yeah, I'm a
I
partner.
don't think. Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
yeah.
so there's no longer a threat of
No
you
longer.
banned from Twitch by
No longer a
that's
threat.
fine.
So Wonder Seeds, all of my expertise on this game, Saltius, is literally coming from watching like my 9-year-old play, and as I like clean and help, you know, with the other kids, and so the seeds unlock like houses that give you badges, and I haven't unlocked my first badge, but I'm about to, and the badges give you like a permanent special power that you get to pick and choose, and so I think they also open up the castles and things like that, but I believe that when you use them, they actually are used as opposed to like some giant running total. And then the coins can buy you other things like badges as well. Like there feels to be this level of integration that collecting the coins and doing these things isn't just about like 100% of the game. Now, what I'm looking forward to, what I'm really evaluating this game for, hands down, is how are its secret levels? Like, is there like, are we sitting here like in a month going like, holy crap, I found the Star Road and it turns all the, like, it's the most difficult levels you've ever played in a Mario. That's how I think Mario World really just, like, if you never knew it, like, you have to go find it and just like, oh, I'm going to put this key in this hole and see what happens. So I'm curious to see if there's multiple exits to levels that open up new levels and stuff like that. The Twitch is Work to Game. The links are all in the description. So if you guys are watching here, this is a good time to kind of shout it out. How many people are with, I can't even see how many people are with me right now. I need to rearrange my.
We have 6 people in here in Discord.
Yeah, well, 6 in the Discord. We got, does it tell me how many I have live? Let me switch over to the dashboard here. Yeah, a big old, 14, and thanks for the 8 likes. Cool. Oh, what?
9
did
likes.
Did it give me a notification? Noctis, 21 months at tier 1. That didn't show up in my chat. I apologize about that. I got that. Let me get that fixed. But yeah, the links also I'm working on. I've been challenged by the fellow comedians because apparently Instagram is a big networking tool for comedians. So the top link in the descriptions for the Instagram challenge, I'm trying to, they want me to get over 1,000 followers, which I've never really been, you know, so I've been posting my shorts and things like that over there and some comedy stuff as well. So if you guys use Insta, hit that link. And it's also interesting because there's a very big cultural divide how people rate the app. All the black comedians call it, "Are you on the gram?" And I love when they say that to me. It's like, yes, I am.
So I'm honestly kind of curious. Like, I mean, obviously you're doing comedian stuff, you're doing gaming stuff, but you have different YouTubes based on what your thing. Like, now you're kind of like spreading out your subscription base rather than just having one giant YouTube and having like subcategories in your YouTube that would give you possibly bigger subscribers. Like,
the number of subscribers going up isn't the real thing. The goal is that, because what you, especially let's say within MMOs, right? Like the thing you'll see, and this could be true for a wide range of you know, games or game genres, but you'll find that a lot of the big engagement on the MMO, which is in enough itself a niche, you know, let alone you don't get a lot of crossover, and so YouTube actually will punish me for doing that, for being, you know, like, hey, I posted about Throne of Liberty, and then tomorrow, like, I'll talk about like maybe Final Fantasy, and maybe the Throne of Liberty and the Final Fantasy people have nothing to do with it, and YouTube doesn't understand as well that it's like, okay, so what I've discovered, and that's why, you know, kind of categorizing different things, is that my variety and all this stuff is here. And yes, I'm willing to know that I can put out a video and it might only get 600 views. And there'll be somebody who comes in and says, oh man, you got 75,000 and only 600 people watch this video. And it's like, yeah, YouTube didn't push it to anybody because YouTube doesn't know where this video belongs. And the people who it sent it to originally said, I'm not interested in it, so that they don't watch it. And then, that's why you end up seeing a lot of like YouTubers lean in after they hit a certain size to more of the reaction and the drama content and the, you know, the sensational thumbnails, because they know that if they're not being seen, they're dead. And that's when everybody's like, oh, I'm going full time. It's like, let's just watch what happens with their content over time, because at some point you're like, holy crap, I'm not making enough money here. This isn't working. Salty is now over on Twitch. Thank you so much. Dropping a Prime sub too, Salt. Dude, thank you, man. If you guys haven't seen, so I was on Salty's podcast, not this last Thursday, because we were doing Halo and he was playing Spider-Man, but the previous, and it was a great topics, lots of fun. I really was happy, and hopefully we'll be able to collab again, because we were talking about Game Pass over on Twitch. Yeah, not Twitch, Twitter, X, whatever the frick. Anyway, so does that answer your question about like the why multiple channels? It just makes it, for me, less stressful, so I can say, because like if you go to New World Central, you'll see that I could put out a 2-minute video. Like if the video just needs to be that, here's the information, here's what you need to know, I have the freedom to do so, and the channel's not going to suffer because of it. I couldn't put out a 2-minute New World video on Prime. No one would see it. No one would ever see it, because like, you know, some part of the community maybe likes the looter shooter aspect that I like to play. So yeah, and that's just saying, holy crap, dude, right in also chat here, but also dropping a 10 spot. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that super chat, dude. See, the super chat's so up. Like I didn't know why Noctis, the member renewal, didn't show up. So come on, get yourself together, restream.
Now, why does that, like, so how does that apply to Ginger Prime versus Work to Game though? Because those are both very big audiences. Like that's not necessarily like either is very niche.
Work to Game like is started off as that like collab between Chris and I, and then Chris would take these long sabbaticals. And then eventually people are like, oh, it's just like, that's where I see a lot of confusion. But like what we're, you know, Kirk and I, we've been doing the podcast over there every other Monday. Heyo. And then we've had like Joyful come in, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. The goal of Work to Game now, you know, and this was kind of something Chris and I talked about a long time ago, is like, yeah, we should have it like, it should be a team. We should bring in other like creators, and it's like this kind of mindset, right? Like we all have jobs. We all still love video games. Let's bring our expertise. Chris is an architect. He's got a master's in architecture. Like I'm a software engineer. Let's bring this expertise into the gaming discussion. And that's essentially kind of where it is. You know, Kirk, I know, like, I think you're studying for the bar exam. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, as a like when I can type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the content creation can get knocked down the totem pole at times. To your point.
Yeah.
But I've actually been prioritizing it a little bit more, just because I've had some level of, I don't know, it's weird to say the word success. I guess maybe attention is probably the right word.
Attention
like,
is the currency, right? Yeah.
The people have actually been, you know, seeing my stuff. So, you know, because like you said, YouTube cares about that. YouTube's sort of like, oh, well, you know, they liked your last 5 videos, so I guess we'll put this in front of more people or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sort of riding that until I go back down to, oh, I only got, you know, 200 to 600 views. And I can be like, okay, well, YouTube's done with me now. I'll just go back to, you know, doing what I was doing before. But kind of just riding that wave at the moment, because, you know, it's obviously... It can snowball in a very good way in terms of like, oh, I made something, people actually saw it and cared about it. Let's make something else that people will see and care about, and that's gratifying to an extent.
Yeah, exactly. And what you'll end up seeing, I'm too fast. Elephant Mario is too quick. So Salty has asked, what changed with the Twitch announcement? And they said that you can now, that, you know, because they announced like earlier last year that like nobody can multi-stream. Ninja was doing it. He refused his Twitch partnership. And a big play of what he was doing was to showcase that being able to stream in more places actually can drive people to Twitch as opposed to away from Twitch. And I think that's a good thing, right? Because that's what we've seen hands down every time. So Chris would go live on Twitch, and I'd go live on the Work to Game YouTube, and we'd see people who are like, I prefer the Twitch experience. And now that Twitch isn't, or at least is embracing the Twitch Turbo, so you're not like being just absolutely flooded with ads, that I think that's overall going to help improve their enjoyment. And then beyond just the ads alone, YouTube's already starting to do that as well. So YouTube is like, on a couple of my channels, they have this ad automator thing now that says on a live stream, we're just going to start tossing out more ads based off of whatever their algorithm determines. And it's like, yep, it was only a matter of time. I think everybody's like, yeah, these live streams, they're really popular, but they're not making a lot of money. And, how do we justify? And hopefully what that means in the long run is that YouTube starts actually stepping up and adding in more of these features. Oh my gosh, Solemn, over 16 months. So he's a year over on Twitch, 16 months over here with the tier 2 membership. Thank you. Still going strong over here. Cheers to you, dude. Let's see here. Salty says they're desperate. My viewers got pissed by the ads on my stream. Dude, the ads are so annoying, right? That's where it's like on YouTube, I was like, at least you got like, they have they're pushing the premium, YouTube premium as an option if you don't like that. On Twitch, it's like Twitch Turbo was hidden, but now they're like, yeah, Twitch Turbo, we're not going to sit here and ruin the streams. And I think that's going to be better in the long run for a lot of like content creators.
I've never been someone who's really, really bothered by ads. I mean, obviously it's like very annoying, but I guess it's just the fact that I know that the ads are so prevalent
Supporting,
because they want you to buy the ad-free subscription.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not gonna let YouTube like basically compel my behavior, like manipulate me into like, oh, we'll give you more ads and then give you advertisements for, oh, don't you want premium? Don't you want premium? You can stop seeing all these ads. It's like, no, you're the one giving me the ads. I'm not going to give you money to fix the problem that you're creating. Like, I'll just watch the thinking ad. It gives somebody like Brian revenue anyway. So it's like,
the ad revenue is like the fact is like we got people who are supporting with like outside of Prime, like Amazon Prime ends up being like the Prime sub is one of the reasons why I think so many people have been able to like do content creation. Oh, ouch. That was bad. Because but what you hear from the bigger creators is like, got to go farm those Prime subs, which has driven, I think, a lot of the reaction meta and all these different things, because it's like, how do you get people to tune in? And then, because like the ads over on Twitch, it's just been absolutely insane.
It's that they hit you with like so many for such a long period of time.
Yeah. Oh, dude, back to back. Like it's like I got
like,
9 ads.
Like,
I'll see you in an hour.
Ads left. I'm like, what?
It's a legitimate commercial. Like like when you're watching a TV show, or you're watching a football game, on Sunday, and then you got like 8 commercials in a row. Like none of us really experience that anymore, right? Like because we either DVR everything we want to watch, or we have the Netflix or the Hulu or whatever. That's $15 a month, which I think is a lot cheaper way than like buying DirecTV or cable if you just pick 2 or 3 that has everything. But like we don't have to see commercials now, and so when we see it, it's literally like the television back in the 90s and early 2000s. I feel like.
Yeah. Oh man, he jumped. I'm gonna become an elephant. Oh, I didn't make it. I didn't get the wander seat. I messed up. Oh no. We'll have to come back.
But like I finally got taken off of a shared Netflix account because all the changes that they're making, and so I was looking at their pricing options. And they're increasing their like base package to like $12-13. It looks like, which would have been way less than that a couple of years ago. And then the one with ads is $7. It's $6.99.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll just buy the one with ads then. Like, it's just like, if you're gonna raise the price on everything, and the alternative is, well, I have to watch some marketing for stuff. Like, I'd rather just do that. Like, it feels better. I mean, I know some people are like, oh, well, I'd rather just pay to not have to waste that time. But
well, that's what a lot of people spend money on.
More money in my pocket, honestly.
There's something like my Julie, and she's like, "Don't get me this. This is not what I'm asking for." And I was like, "We don't have the money for this." But she showed me this like clip of like somebody who's like had a personal chef and what they did in a day, etc. And the chef's like, "Yeah, people hire me just so that they're just spending money so they have time. I handle all the groceries and all that stuff." And I was like, "That's wild."
See, I mean, obviously the monetary investment doesn't compare, but I would rather do that than pay to not have ads. Like, the convenience of, I mean, it's comparable, right?
I mean,
whatever
I
that
guess,
would cost would be insane, but,
that would
actually like
drastically
change your quality of life. Whereas like, having to sit through, 5 minutes maximum of commercials, it's like, okay, like I'll get up and do something, like it's I don't know. It's like they're trying to make it more inconvenient than it actually is to create this perception that you've got to spend the extra money to not have to suffer through this terrible, whatever. It's like, when I was a kid, this was just normal. You just watched television and you had ads. Like, we didn't have DVR.
Oh, dude, we pay not to have ads, and it, like as a parent, it's such a like I'm not ever gonna go back. Because I don't want my kids to be inundated with like all like, because like every time they see a commercial,
that's fair,
like that's where
that's
like when you hear me talk about like how easily influenced children are, it's like it's from experience. Like they'll see like, oh, Dad, I want this, I need this. It's like, okay, let's not use the word need. Like let's use some real language here.
No, that's a very good point. I had not considered, and they know if you have kids too. Like they.
Yep.
The ads are targeted, so they're showing you kids' toys and stuff like that, I'm sure. So.
Oh no, didn't get them all. Bummer.
You're talking about the olden days? I got a sound effect for the olden days.
All right.
Oh my god, dude. AOL had some bomb games too. They had this game called Silent Death Online, which was so dope. But like a top-down space shooter that was PvP, and like 50 people would be in a map at once, and dial up with no lag. It was crazy.
I didn't realize how long you would stay as the elephant, Brian. Like you've been the elephant like this whole level.
I'm pretty good.
I figured.
But I think these are obviously the easier levels, so it's like.
Okay, so it's not just that you get the power up all the time. It's just that you're remaining in the elephant form.
He's not getting hit, basically, would be.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Okay, I'm confused. There was a bubble and had a number in it. All right. Cool. Something for later. And I could go back to the elephant as well, but I. Woohoo!
The elephant is the perfect encapsulation of why Nintendo is what Nintendo is because like it's just like nobody else
Ooh, secret.
like has that level of creativity where they're like, what if we made Mario an elephant?
Yeah.
Why? Well, we don't have to figure out the why. We have to figure out what we would do with that. Like, it doesn't matter why. We're just gonna do it because it's insane. But let's figure out what that would mean if we made Mario an elephant. Like, what does that mean gameplay wise? Like, that's the Nintendo philosophy.
About.
Yeah.
They don't care about the psychology of it. They're just like, what would be an elephant cool? But you know what?
why is Mario able to fly when he puts on a raccoon suit? Let's figure out how to make it happen.
And you know what? Nintendo, I think, is the only. Well, there's other companies, but Nintendo is one of the only companies that actually rewards you for like cheesing. Like back in the Super Mario World that we were talking about, right?
As long as you're not talking about modding, because they'll come after a creator for that.
No, not modding. But like you could cheese every level once you get the cape, right? Like doing the boom and then elevating, and then there's a mansion or a haunted mansion that rewards you for cheesing because it gets you that secret level. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly.
Nice. Yeah, you are pretty good. Dang.
I love Mario games, man. You know, and it's like I've been I had when they announced this, I was like pre-ordered, and then my kids have been just counting it down, and it's like I've been really like just outside of not even playing and just watching. Like it's just a fun game to hang out with the kids and watch, and just so I'm just this is like. This year's been insane. Like I was saying, like for me, Starfield was my game of the year, but I'm holding out on Super Mario Wonder. Like I'm saying that there's a high chance that Wander takes it for me, and it's that's still a real possibility.
Zelda.
I'm waiting for.
That's what I was gonna ask is if Tears of the Kingdom did not come out this year. Do you think that there would be a serious likelihood that Wonder would beat Baldur's Gate 3 for Game of the Year?
Oh man, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be such a hard thing to beat, and
I think especially with two huge Nintendo titles.
Yeah, I think.
But I'm wondering if there was only one, if that vote wouldn't be so split that Baldur's Gate would win.
Right. So for me, I think Baldur's Gate loses to Mario Wonder, and this is just like I haven't put like just a high level, not in the reality, but in terms of me personally, because Baldur's Gate 3 isn't a game that I can play around my kids, and so like that is me speaking as Brian the dad goes and says, okay, what where am I going to actually put time? I was talking with Joe over on Twitter today, and we're talking about like game of the year, and like I feel like this could be a contender for that for sure. But Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to take it. It's like, there's a reason why I haven't done a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, it just doesn't, same thing with Cyberpunk 2077. These are incredible games. Like I can absolutely appreciate them, and I enjoy them on my own time. But like my time isn't, unlimited. And so when it comes down to it, like I gravitate towards family focused stuff, because at the end of the day, like, in 20 years when my kids probably like, I don't want to hang out with dad right now. That's fine. I'm not going to have this time with them right now ever again.
Facts.
That's the nice thing about Bethesda, isn't it? Is that they like cover some adult themes, but it's never like really glaring in terms of like, like Starfield or Skyrim. Like it's not like there are hardly any like sexual themes or anything. Like there's like adult themes, but it's never like overtly inappropriate, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the coolest thing ever though, Brian, because like me, like like I'll get on Rocket League and I'll be like, oh, here, you want to play, Eden? And she's 6, right? And
Yeah.
she'll just drive around, and she's actually becoming cognitive. Like, not saying she could play online, but she's learning how to hit the ball, how to turn and hit the ball every time and stuff like that. And like, I don't know, some of the coolest things ever is just playing games with the kid as a father. You
Oh,
know
dude.
what I'm saying? So,
Well, and not to like, you know, I'm not talking about anybody's opinion, right? Like everybody, like your opinion of a video game in the industry. I want to say like, what I'm always curious about is like, how do you come to that conclusion? When I see a lot of just the frustration and the anger around gaming from gamers, and then I just go hang out with my kids and we play games and we're having fun, like I'm just like, there's a massive disconnect from somebody who is either chronically online or they don't, they're craving that experience they had, but it takes so much more to try and give them that same kind of dopamine. And for me, that dopamine comes from seeing my kids have that excitement and that joy and that feeling of like wonder. I mean, you know, to kind of highlight, I think Super Mario World, Super Mario Wonder, these things are like, I'm hoping that this is their Super Mario World, like what Super Mario World was for me, you know, as a kid. So, and it's thrilling as a parent to be able to experience that with them. And that's why I don't want ever to, you know, that's why my streams are maximum like 2 hours. Cause it's like, that was fun. I'll see y'all later. What's up, Mom's Den over on Kick? How are you today? How are you? Also, I fully support your campaign to go and to the Final Fantasy media tour. So I see you tweeting that out. I hope that works for you. Because I think you would be an excellent representation. You'd have an excellent time.
speaking of Final Fantasy,
yes.
Why is it such a big deal? Like, because I've been reading stuff that like this, like I guess quest line from Final Fantasy 11 is crossing over to Final Fantasy 14.
I think it's a big deal, but I don't know if it's going to be what they want it to be. But I think overall, one of the things that a lot of us 11 veterans have felt, like it just feels like they're just like they've forgotten about 11, or they're not happy about 11, and it's like, you know, you just want to sit down and say like, come on guys, let's please help me out. And the fact that like Yoshi P's adding that, like I've never felt like I've heard Yoshi P talk about Final Fantasy 11 like in a real positive light, you know. And that's where it's like, I just like, does he even like this game? Because he was Ultima Online. He never, like, his background isn't in Final Fantasy 11, and I think a lot of Final Fantasy 11 players are like, why can't we, you know, why can't you do this, that, or the other thing, you know?
Well, I think the thing is like, because you know, Final Fantasy 14 bombed at first, and then they took the game off for like a complete year or year and a half, and then relaunched it.
Yeah.
Like, what if they would have done the same thing with Final Fantasy 11 when it wasn't doing good? Like, would you need a Final Fantasy 14 then if you had that same mentality that you had with Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah.
If you had that back in Final Fantasy 11. You know?
14 1.0 was basically like 11, you know, version 2.
Got you.
You know, so it's like, and what really ended up happening, like we have to have an honest conversation about how there's not a real big demand for Sandpark in terms of just volume of players. Do players want a sandbox MMORPG that's got a player-driven economy? Yeah, like that's something I gravitate towards because that from that nostalgia, you know, aspect that 11 brings. But when you look at how they're received and what people are looking for, like people understand the theme park. And what I think I even watched, I watched Link's Kamali's, like the downfall of Final Fantasy 14 or whatever he's calling it. And then I watched Asmongold. And one of the things that they bring up in that video is that like players don't want to basically work for anything anymore. Like the solution has already been found, but it's not popular because the majority of players are just like, I'm just having fun. Like I'm just here to have fun. I'm here to run my dungeon and then I'm out of here. Right. And that's how Yoshi P built 14. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's such a strong game is because you don't have to play 14 to like every day. It's not a job. And so it lets people pick it up, put it down. And that's where you end up having you just see a wide range of opinions on it. The problem ends up coming into is the veterans who don't want to step away from the game. You know, they want to keep, they're like, well, you know, I don't want to log out. I want more things to do. And it's like the game says, go take a break. And that's where I think a lot of them get frustrated. Hopefully that answered your question somewhat. There was like 3 topics right there alone.
No, that makes perfect sense. Like everything you said, like perfect.
Oh, this is wild. Wonderful. Oh. Oh, there we go. Oh. Wild. Yeah, he's just talking. These talking flowers an interesting kind of like touch to the game. Can I get that? Nope. Not high enough yet. The wander flower thing is interesting because it's extra, it's wild, and every time it's different. So it's just like interesting. Oh, sweet. All right, looking for just one more. Did the same thing happen with Veterans of the Past? Yes, that's the thing. It's like nothing that's happening drama-wise within the Final Fantasy 14. Like Zeppela was like, even Chris and I talked about, like, it's only a function of time. Like, you know, people, Zeppela's like negative on the game now. It's like that was literally always going to happen. There was never this was like an absolute guarantee. Because you can set your prediction clock to it, and she wants to, and again, what's the better thing? It's like, no, just go play other games. It helps. But yeah, and then what you'll end up seeing the same thing, Anthony. What the next thing that happens is the expansion will come out. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, the best thing since sliced bread, and then essentially all of a sudden the gap between 7.0 and 7.1. will be long enough that then all of a sudden people are like, but where's all my content? It's like, why can't we have this, that, and the other thing? It's like, yeah, you got to wait for that, because people will come in at the end of the expansion and have all the content. And so, star. Woo!
I have a friend who, I think I've discussed this before, who basically...
I messed that one up.
Every time, so FF14 expansion comes out, he plays the expansion, quits when the 0.55 patch comes out.
Yeah.
He plays, and then rinse and repeat.
Plays the expansion. That Yoshi P
quits, wait for everything to pop up, and then plays again. So it's like a 2 chunks of playtime he gets.
So Noctis also says Super Mario RPG next month. Yes, I'm excited that they're remaking that. I'm excited for the Dragon Quest 3 remake because I think that's going to be fun. But also, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, yes, that is essentially the healthiest way. And that Yoshi P built that. Like, he built that into the core design. So usually anybody's suggestions about Final Fantasy saying like, hey, we really want to have that investment kind of content that pays off. It's like, that's why everything shifts into that glamour system. It's just that collection game because they don't want anybody to feel like they can't step away. And that makes it easier for people to come in and out, And so, I remember what I was going to say. Yoshi P has managed to make a subscription-based single-player game. And that in and of itself isn't talked about enough. It's wild that is the fact of what it is. Now, 14 has MMO qualities. It has MMO aspects, but those are completely optional outside of, I guess, the Crystal Tower. But I expect to see some big changes there down the road because I saw an article saying that you can now play all of Final Fantasy 14 as like single player. And it's like, that's not true. But for the most part, it is, it is for the most part. It's almost true in this case.
It's funny you say that because I watched like a 45-minute video by Josh Strife Hayes about. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to plug other people, but
just as you know, like, plug away. If you guys are doing stuff, plug. Like, I'm not offended by, especially because the other thing about that, and I want you to make your point. But the other thing that is that so many people are like, if you don't promote yourself, no one's promoting you, right? Like, you don't be afraid to promote yourself, and if you're promoting yourself with me, that's great. Like it doesn't bother me at all. Go ahead and make your point, and then I got some chats I got to catch up on.
Yeah. So Josh Stripe Hayes, in the 45-minute video he said it's an RPG first and an MMO second. So it's not an MMO RPG, it's an RPG MMO.
Yeah, I think he described it. I hope that he got that from me, but he might have gotten that from another creator, because that's what I said like in 2.0. I was like, oh, this is a Final Fantasy game first, and then an MMO after that. And people who love the MMO qualities of 14, they get upset by that. But you got to remember, I'm coming from Final Fantasy 11. Like, that was MMO first. Like, that was a sandbox MMO. You live and breathe in that game, or you probably don't play. And so, like, that's how that game was for sure. Let's see here. Chat says, wouldn't the end of Shadowbringers be the exception? Remember a lot of hype during that time? An end of an expansion isn't the exception, it's the rule. Not just with Shadowbringers. Shadowbringers got a lot of hype because they were going to end the story in Endwalker. So it's not just the story of Shadowbringers, it's also the story of the rebirth of Final Fantasy 14. And as an RPG MMO, it's concluding its base story, the story that has been kind of driving you from expansion to an expansion. We'll see if they can pull that off again. You'll see at the end of Endwalker, the 655, there should be a big resurgence, just like with Yammer's Friend. A lot of other players will come back, get caught up on all the patch content, and step into the expansion, play the expansion. Maybe they'll stick around for the 0.1, and then they'll go on a break. So the hype pre-expansion isn't an exception at all. It's the rule. That's where they have like the like where the population is just popping off. What you do find though is that during that same kind of time, veterans who don't manage their burnout will be the most frustrating. Also, just as a quick plug, guys, if you haven't seen, top link in the description, trying to grow my Instagram following. Be sure to follow that if you use Instagram and hit that follow button over there. That's a huge help. The other comedians are, you know, like, Brian, you don't have enough followers on Instagram. And it's like, but I have them on YouTube. It's like, they're like, you need to grow your Instagram. I was like, okay, time to ask for favors. Badge challenge. All right. I like the little hat thing. Oh man. Okay, I'll get it this round. Well, that's the thing that I've really enjoyed stepping away from Final Fantasy 14. It's like it's given me way more time to enjoy more games. And so like this year alone has just been, you know, been awesome in that regard. Oh, make it back. Yeah.
Do you find it harder to invest your time in an MMORPG with kids? Because I kind of do, like, you know, with Eden, like, I'm always like, man, I got to put a lot of time in New World or whatever. And, like, it takes away time from, you know, spending time with your kids.
That's where, like, controller support and cloud gaming is such a huge aspect for me, because, like, I can hang out with the kids. Because there's, like, me and my dad were talking about this. It's that there's this myth that quality time is what kids need. And it's not quality time, it's quantity of time. And so I can be hanging out with the kids and I can fire up my G Cloud and yeah, I can kind of grind out, you know, some stuff in New World, and it's going to make it much easier when they have that native controller support, because sometimes the Steam controller support goes wacky, which is interesting. We were doing the Halo game night. I have absolutely zero aim assist. That's what I've discovered playing on Steam, and I've been troubleshooting it and I have not had any luck. So it's wild. I step in, play on the Xbox. I feel like I'm like, man, I'm getting, and honestly, maybe it's because of lack of any aim assist on PC. So I'm trying to step into and learn keyboard and mouse, which sucks. I'm like, I love my controllers, man.
Controller support is overrated.
Yeah, that's what crazy people think.
Dude, I could tell you, like,
I'm not crazy, I'm insane. Get that right.
All right. Fair enough.
You're being sloppy.
Sloppy. Do I have any sound effects queued up? Okay, no. They the Go XLR that I have still works, but it's like, yeah, the company I guess stopped making them, so it's like, all right. Oh, what's interesting, I don't know if Salty's still here, but when we talked about the currency, it's behind the follow me thing that kind of floats in. It will tell you how much you have and where, like, kind of what you need to unlock. So it's kind of saying like, hey, you need 10 to unlock, you got 16, you know. So it's just a couple things like that. So I think that's kind of a nice thing. So you can kind of gauge when you want to go and unlock certain things to continue on the adventure. Yeah, Solemn says true, Brian. Definitely quantity. It's, yeah. Let's go. Yeah, a lot of these are just like 1-star difficulty. So I'm kind of curious to see how many star difficulty levels they end up having. All right, this is great. Oh, they're tempting me with that flower coin. Oh no, I messed up. Oh good. Oh no. Oh, cool. I can hold on to that. Oh, no. Get up there. What are you doing, Ryan? Oh, I missed that one. Got it. Whew. Oh, that's so good. Woohoo!
All right, boys, I'm gonna jump on out of here. Brian, I will see you a week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens between now
and
then.
You got any videos that you're getting ready to roll out, or that you want to promote?
No, I've been taking a little break.
Okay.
I'm probably doing a review of a game called Dementium that is a port of it was a DS game, I believe, then a 3DS game, and now it came to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sort of avoiding that because I didn't really like it, and I never enjoy doing reviews of games that I don't like. Sometimes I just don't do them at all, especially if they're smaller. It's just like, well, what is the point of me exerting this labor to make this video to basically rag on this thing that people worked really hard on to make? Like, you know, nobody wins in that extent. But this is one of those ones where, you know, I got it from like one of the distributor sites, so there's like a required submission. So it's like, okay, well, you know, all right, if that's how you want to do it, you know, obviously that's just how it works. But so that's probably coming soon, but that's like very niche. And then I am going to do a video for I would presume, or I would hope, because it's a good game, that because of the season, because it's close to Halloween, people are going to be trying out the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that sort of rivals what Dead by Daylight is doing, and I actually think it does a lot of things better. I really enjoy it, so I'm going to make a video that's like, hey, if you're new, because there's a lot of like, you know how like the content creation community is about builds and stuff, and it's like, oh, like, exactly. You know, grind for these, you know, level 30 perks or whatever, and you'll be unstoppable. And I was just gonna make a video of like, hey, you just bought the game, you just started playing, you're like, perks, what are these? Here's some good ones that you can choose like right now, instead of having to play like 10 hours before you can get any of the things that people are telling you to get if you've been in the hellscape that is YouTube and like the builds and stuff. So I was gonna make a video like targeted at new players, but I don't really know if there's like an audience out there for that, but I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, because it's a good game, and hopefully people are like trying it. It's on Game Pass, so they should have put it on PS Plus too. That would have been a good move, but usually you don't see games come to both. There's probably like something in the contracts for those that are like, if it's on Game Pass, you can't put it on Plus. If it's on Plus, you can't put it on Game Pass. It's unfortunate.
I
'cause some
bet
of
there
these
are
games are
contracts
just
like that. Then that sucks. I think that sucks. I hate that stuff. That's benefiting the company, not the gamer.
Yeah, because if the game is like that type of game that will really benefit from being on either or both of those subscription platforms, then yeah, it's just cutting out, potential player pool that would be interested in it. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Well, guys, go
Yeah,
be sure to. One second, Mike. Mike, 1 second. Guys, be sure to go follow Kirk over at What's New Video Games. If you get the chance, I'll try and tag him in the description. But you can always join us every other Monday for Epic Loot Radio, where we go over all kinds of great stuff that's going on within gaming. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only one that really I see that is on like all 3 platforms is the good old niche classic game Friday the 13th. Since you're talking about Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah,
Massacre.
same dev. Yeah, same dev. Which that game, I think the online is not shut down. They're just they're not working on it anymore. But the online will shut down in 2024 sometime. I'm still mad about Gran Turismo Sport, Brian.
Yeah.
They're gonna make me buy Gran Turismo 7. Oh man, I don't know. I don't like the idea of like games that, like, it'd be one thing if I don't know. I guess like there's server cost, but I don't like the idea of just not being able. I mean, I think I can still play Forza 6. So it's like I just really don't like the idea of not being able to go online with the game at all.
Yeah.
Even if they're not updating or working on it at all, like just keep the servers up. Like, come on, for the people that bought in. Like, I bought the $80 special edition of that game. Like, pre-ordered it. Like, keep your servers up a little longer. I mean, come on. I don't know.
I'm gonna catch up with chat before I try this again.
Privileged or like being a baby or whatever, but or just not a realist. But yeah, I wish everybody sort of took the approach that like a lot of games have, like that Microsoft has, where they keep those servers up for a long time for older games. So.
Yeah.
But then you have the 2Ks that are like, yep, you get 2 years and then you buy the new NBA game or you're out of luck. So yeah, it's definitely a widespread there. All right, guys, you take care. Enjoy your Sundays.
Hey, man. Oh, this is fun. This is wild. I'm gonna catch up on chat here in just a second, guys. I gotta be focused. Oh no! Oh, that's so crazy. All right, so Anthony says, have you seen the leaked Switch 2 information? They're talking about having DLSS 3.5 on it. That's pretty nuts. I hope so. One of the things that's really frustrated me is just like the age of the Switch and the things that I wish that it could do, and the things that it could, like, I know it could potentially do this, especially when you think about like how the Logitech G Cloud works. Like, it's like, yeah, let me just have that app on my Switch, because that would be really nice, because then I could play my Nintendo games, I could remote into my Xbox, I could remote into my PS5, but alas, we'll see. So DLSS 3.5 is pretty nuts. I've been hearing like it's going to be powered around like the Xbox One, PS4 generation, which I think is pretty substantial. I don't know what that's going to truly mean for Nintendo games, but maybe it means more for third parties. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And then Barbosa says, hello, Brian in chat. What's going on? Thank you so much for being here, Barbosa. All right. Oh, come on. I think my first 4-star difficulty level. Ah, I missed that one. I'll take this. I'm gonna get that someday. There we go. Oh god. Oh, come on.
Wait. We can do this then?
Got it. Woo!
You know
Oh,
what?
and time to get out of there. Yeah. Yahoo! It's me, Mario.
Why'd you go this way?
Oh, hello.
No, don't mind me. I'm just fighting a whale thing here.
It's me, Mario.
It's me, Mario.
Nice. I've always wondered what it would take for Nintendo to be like, you know what? I bet we can make so much more money if we just put our games on Steam, like Sony and Microsoft has done now, or even make their own launcher for it for PC.
I would love that. I'd love for them to support more. They finally came. It took them forever, but they finally came to the phones, which was, I think, really important for them to do that, because it's like, all right, you're missing out on pure nostalgic building opportunity. Like if you're like right now, for the longest time, it felt like their market was based off of like selling nostalgia to a bunch of us 30 and 40-year-olds, and it's like, all right, they got to build that up. You got to make sure that you're where the next generation is, and we'll see. Like I don't think we would have had, like, if I wasn't such a Nintendo fan, a Mario fan, I don't think my kids would be playing that. They'd be playing Xbox and PlayStation, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like with my oldest niece, and actually I should say both my nieces, that I got them into Zelda, but they've also branched off into Pokemon and stuff like that too.
Yeah. I wonder though, like, because obviously,
Dude,
like,
Metroid.
Where's
Have to buy
Metroid Prime 4, man? Like, that was announced at the beginning of this generation.
Ew. What am I looking at?
These little
It's
flowers
just
are
also like
interesting.
the fact that they're going to be releasing another Star Fox game, so
They're gonna make another Star Fox?
there's rumors floating around about it.
Okay.
There's been rumors for like the last year and a half, man. I've been waiting for it so bad. Like, and I would like to see like Falco Lombardi like get like maybe his like own solo quest line, man, because I think he's like the most popular like character that's not Star Fox, obviously, in the Star Fox series.
So is the new Star Fox game rumor the same thing as like a Switch 2? On the same level as like a Switch 2?
Probably, if they are gonna do it, it's probably gonna be one of the release games coming out with Switch 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm saying, like, in
a big.
terms of, like,
I
in the
think that'd be
rumor
a
mill.
system. Oh
People
yeah.
have been talking about.
Switch 2 for like how many years?
I don't know. Ever since for a long time. For I feel like every year since the Switch is out, it's been like a Switch 2 rumor.
Oh yeah, dude. It was like, if you're gonna be a YouTuber, like, it's January, you need to be talking about Switch 2. It's like, come on.
Was there a Switch 2 rumor going on when they, like, 2 years ago when they came out with, like, the OLED version of the Switch and it wasn't the Switch 2?
Yes.
Yes.
It was Switch 2. It was a Switch 2 rumor, yeah. There's been a Switch 2 rumor for the past, like, 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
Yeah, because they were saying the OLED was supposed to be the Switch 2, but it turned out to be the OLED instead, and now people are back to, they're gonna release a whole entire new one, Switch 2.
Yeah, I think the problem is with coming out with the Switch 2, right? You look at the Wii and the success of the Wii, right? And then they came out with the Wii U, which they thought was like a level above, and then it like completely crashed.
Yeah.
So then they have a super successful Switch, right? And I don't know, like,
Naming and marketing is going to be key, because that's where like Switch 2, like the Wii U, like just sounds like an add-on to the Wii, and that's what the problem. Like a lot of
Wii
people.
U was like their first like real console flop.
Yeah.
It was out of all the ones that came before, the Wii U was the biggest flop for Nintendo, because they emphasized on the market with coming out with the Wii, where you don't have to sit on your butt and be playing, though technically you could, and you get up and move and exercise.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, here's the Wii U, here, have a gamepad. You can have the system in one room, and you can still play it as long as you're within range. But it was also a major flop because you're back to the controller.
but let me ask you this: was a Wii U just kind of like a little experiment to perfect the Switch? Because basically that's the Switch now, right?
That's
Except it's
the
mobile, you
lesson
can
of
pick it anywhere.
failure.
My attitude in this of the Wii U is that it's a proof of concept,
Yeah.
or perhaps like a proto like Switch, in that they're trying to figure out how to combine a controller with a console, and they perfected it with the Switch. Like,
yeah, they perfected it with the Switch, and plus also again, they also started another revolution. Take your gaming with you, because you also got what Brian emphasizes on the GeForce Now. You've got the Steam Deck and stuff like that.
Yeah, that flexibility, like that's I think going to be where you look at more options for gamers. How do you reach them? Because I don't think it's just a matter of making like amazing games. Like if you're like, all right, you need me to go run out and do this. Like for a lot of gamers that used to be like, oh yeah, I used to play video games, and now it's like, I don't know if I can justify spending $500 to go and buy that to play that game. And so that's where you lose people, you know, or they've migrated like me more to PC. Hey, what's up, Manny? Yeah, what's up?
When I was watching a stream the other day, actually yesterday, and this guy was like, I don't know why people are still talking about the console wars, because Nintendo essentially won.
Yeah. Okay, but take care of it, okay? You're making the cookies?
Oh, you're talking about just for like as like units sold, like per this generation, like?
No, just in general. I don't know his context, but I'm pretty sure it's along the lines of like popularity, like units sold, that sort of thing, like quality of games on those consoles as like, you know, first party exclusives, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said basically like, all things considered, Nintendo has essentially won the console wars. Like they're technically over, but for whatever reason.
Well, Nintendo also always comes out with the biggest surprises too. With,
I mean, Nintendo's like in a league of their own.
Yeah,
you know.
And then one thing is they don't ever discount their games too. So like one of the things that whenever I see people complaining about game price, yeah, like dude, this go buy Odyssey. Tell me how much it is. I bet it's $60. Maybe you'll find it for 55. Maybe you'll find it for 50 used. You know, like no, they don't. They rarely. When Super Mario the movie came out and was a huge hit, they did have a sale. They did put a little discount on everything, but like
I got it.
Yeah, like with Tears of the Kingdom, after about a couple of weeks, because they wanted to sell more units of it, they did put like a week sale on the game, like $10 off. That was about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is,
it's still $60.
Yeah,
for Amazon, but that's the European version.
And I would say this, like, I am actually really mad about that, because like I've had 3 different Switches, and I've had to buy Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 3 different times, and I just bought the last one like earlier this year. That game's been out for like 7 years. It's still $60.
Why did you have to buy it 3 times? Like, cause to play together with friends and family?
Well, yeah, because you know, one Switch I gave to my sister because I wasn't really playing it that much, and then when I bought another Switch, like I'd have to buy the game again because I buy the digital copy.
Yeah.
Rather than the.
Yeah, I buy digital too, and that's where it's like when I see a lot of people complaining about how, like, I think Walmart just announced they're not going to be selling physical video games anymore. Like, everybody's like all mad about it. I'm like, man, I've been digital for 2 generations, man. Like, I ain't buying physical games.
So Barbarossa says, easy solution, make game. Make sure. Yeah. So easy solution, make games available on all platforms, get the most customers that way. However, Solemn Argus brings up a really good rebuttal, in that he says, don't think any of the 3 platforms, as in not handheld, don't see each other as direct competition. Not only are their consoles a separate demographic, so are their games, at least current day. Like, people arguably play different games look to different companies for different types of games. There we go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I agree. 100%.
So, which totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's like with the big, let's say the biggest argument out there right now. Take Mortal Kombat 1. It's on all 3 platforms, and people say it looks the worst on Nintendo Switch.
Well, because it's not meant. It wasn't originally meant for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch is the reason why Nintendo Switch has let's try this again, shall we? Words are hard. Nintendo Switch games often benefit from the fact that even though it has like a low screen resolution, most of them have a distinct, there you go, art style.
Yeah.
Which benefits the low graphics quality. So, like for example, I was watching the new Kirby game. Looks amazing. You know, wouldn't have thought it's on a Switch, but it's on a Switch. But it takes advantage of an art style that
Oh man, this guy sucks.
benefits the low resolution.
Oh,
Whereas Mortal Kombat, it's how much you want to bet it's designed for like Xbox or PS4, right? Which is on a completely different technological level from the Switch.
Yeah, plus also with like the Switch, again, it's the portability of it and taking the games with you. And where Nintendo's always has been and will be more family oriented gaming than solo playing with yourself, and let's have hot steamy games.
What I look at it in terms of putting games everywhere though is, and kind of the like what really does happen, because people are like, oh, that means Nintendo is gonna, like, they're not gonna make as good games. It's like, no, you're still incentivized to make good games because you're gonna sell them. But what you have seen and what we are seeing is that we're seeing a resurgence in the handheld industry where everybody who's tried to break into handhelds have failed, and Nintendo has continued to lock that down up until this past year, where we got the Rogue Ally, we've got the Steam Deck, we've got the Logitech G Cloud, and a lot of those are powered because of the fact of you can play a wider selection of games. And that leads me, and this is the argument that I've made, where people made like really weak counter arguments because they're like trying to say I'm saying something I'm not. But if you look at something like social media and you look at something as video game IP, as specialized categories of games, you could call them, I'm going to use the term natural monopoly, but that's where a lot of people are like, oh, no, like that throws them off. But you have these specific IP. There is no Xbox Mario, PlayStation Mario. The only way to play Mario is by purchasing a Switch. What happens, and what I think would happen ultimately, is that you would have maybe a Sony Xbox, or, you know, like when all of a sudden you can sit here and say you can break up the idea that you have to own a specific piece of hardware to play certain games. You would actually probably see more companies step up and start making different kinds of console offerings that would appease to a different kind of gamer. Right now, there's no reason to, because you're not going to have this games or those games, so you're automatic. And that's what we've seen that happen earlier back in the SNES era. There was all these people making consoles, but they didn't have the games, so nobody bought them, and those they didn't make money. But now with the handhelds, we're seeing them make them. They're actually being successful. People are purchasing them because they have access to games, and access to games, I think, is the critical component. Now, does that mean Nintendo's going to voluntarily give up this monopoly of market share? I doubt it.
No. I mean, sorry.
No, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, because take a look at the factor. There's been a lot of people pushing on Nintendo, and Nintendo's telling them no, with spreading out the Mario franchise, Zelda franchise, Kirby, and now since they also basically own Sonic too, they're saying, "Oh, well, bring them out to Xbox, PlayStation, Steam," and Nintendo's like, "No, because those are ours."
Yeah.
So I mean, they even shut down their. And I've told you this before, Yemrin. They even there was people doing Mario Kart in real life, and Nintendo went after them with a lawsuit.
Oh yeah, Nintendo is like, they're brutal.
But
Nintendo sometimes is really smart, and sometimes they're like a panda. Like they just roll around and just gaggle.
Like we're trying to get you to have sex, Panda, because you're going extinct. Well, I don't feel like having sex today.
They
It's like,
deserve
yeah.
to go extinct. All right, they're literally the dumbest animal, like the dumbest mammal. They're so stupid.
Hey,
Like,
leave it alone. You're gonna give some people.
the only reason pandas are still alive.
Emotional damage.
The only reason pandas are still alive is because humans think they're cute. That's it. They should have been extinct like 50 years ago. Like, no joke.
Again, you're gonna give some people in this stream some
Emotional damage.
But this is what I want to say. Like, and I get it. Like, you know, Mario's their baby and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't put them on Xbox and so don't even put them on Steam. But you can make your own launcher, your own Nintendo launcher, just like, you know, Unity has their
Nintendo
own launcher,
might
Epic has their own
do
launcher,
that.
and then play PC on that, and it's all you still. It's your launcher, it's your stuff, dude.
But then you have to look at the
thing is the individual launchers aren't
demographic there, right? Is how many people would they gain on Xbox or PS4 or PC who don't already own a Switch to play those games, right?
I think a ton, because not everybody owns a Switch. Or if nothing else, like you get gamers that have a Switch and they just want another way to play. And it's like, oh man, you know, do I really want to go? It's like, or like, for example, the biggest thing that's frustrating was Tears of the Kingdom. Like, okay, what did people do? They hacked it. And it's like, and that's where it's like, I'm generally against pirating, but you gotta give us the opportunity. You gotta give us the option. And if you're not going to give us the option, I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody for like, oh, I want to play Zelda at 60 frames a second. It's worth it. It's the, you know, like that's games as good, you know, like you want to have that ideal experience, but Nintendo doesn't offer that as a product yet, you know?
Right. One thing to look at is how the ROM scene, right? The emulator scene, how popular are their games with that, right? And see, like, okay, is this a market we can actually tap into? Because it's the only thing I'm unsure of is how many Nintendo players would they gain if they put them on other consoles, right?
I think they'd make tons of money.
Gain a lot though, because like little me who didn't have a Switch or a Wii or a Wii U, had Mario games been coming out on PC on their own, you know, on their own launcher or on Steam, like. I'd be copping them up and playing them and stuff like that. But I went through 2 or 3 generations of not playing Nintendo, not because I don't like Mario games, but once I switched to PC, I realized, oh, God of War's on PC, Halo's on PC, all these exclusive only titles are on PC. Like, that's all Nintendo's missing, really. And
I think, and I agree with you. I think PC they would gain the most players, the most customers consume whatever.
Yeah, 'cause with like Tears
PC, they would have they would have their best chances, but I'm not sure they would have. I'm not sure how their chances would be on PS4 and Xbox.
I agree with that.
Oh no, I think they'd sell so much.
Sorry, Brian.
Go ahead.
With Tears of the Kingdom launch, as soon as it came out, people were already trying to port it over to PC so the PC players could play it.
Right.
That was, you know, with the factor of the hacking and getting it to 60 frames per second. But the other side was people that didn't own a Switch or didn't want to go out and buy a Switch, even though Switch is actually the cheapest console out of all of them to buy, of say the big three. They just wanted access to the game that they've been waiting for years.
Yeah. No, I get you.
I think that the games would sell great also on console, and I don't think ultimately. How do I got? Oh, I guess he beat me there. Okay, it's like I can't get to him. I do think that like you could still have like a Switch, like they could still make a physical console, and again, like when it comes down to it, like I could say like. Maybe the answer is you still have exclusives. They're just timed, right? Like you want to play Super Mario Wonder first. It's on the Switch for a year or 2 years. And then we're going to open it up to other consoles. So that way, if you never picked it up or played it, or like me, I own like the Pixel remasters, like on every platform. And then if they come to the Xbox, I'll buy it again because I'm stupid.
That's also with 16. Yoshi P's also said it's coming to PC, but not till a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like what Sony does now, or is doing.
Well, they're
buying the exclusive rights at least for a year before
the first year, and then they release it on PC.
Right, and that's what happened with the last God of War, right? Like it was exclusively PlayStation for the first 6 months before it popped up to Steam.
The original God of War on PC took a while, but now that roadmap is getting smaller and smaller, which I think is overall going to be really good. I know the diehard PlayStation fans once they kind of get over that initial but I wanted to play on PlayStation. Like you can, but I do hope that we'll see Sony say, and that the only reason why I could see you could have that timed exclusive would be for just the difficulty of porting to PC, right? Because that does take more dev time. It's not going to be like, oh, you just hit export to whatever. So like I could see the argument being like a legitimate one, saying like, you know what, we want to make sure that when we do release on PC that it is the quality that we that we're aiming for, and thus it's going to be 6 months to a year. And it's like, okay, I think gamers can understand that. And honestly, when you get a better product, I think overall you're like, yeah, hey, play first on PlayStation. Okay, cool. But and then it's good. It's like that's why I champion PlayStation doing that, and I would champion Nintendo doing that as well. Even if we never got like Xbox games on PlayStation, PlayStation games on Xbox, I think that'd be overall a good thing.
I think Microsoft is up for it. I'm not sure if Sony is.
Oh,
Actually, I don't think Sony is at all.
Microsoft absolutely is up for it. Sony, well, I mean, again, like, why would you, like, you don't want to sit here and, like, wait a minute, like, our guys, we don't need to do this. Why are we doing this?
Here's a solid question for you guys. How much more longer do you think consoles will keep on being released? Because the way I look at it, besides Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony, like, I think everything's just going to PC. Like,
I think they're gonna be there. I don't think just the games being supported. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think consoles are going anywhere simply just because they're the cheaper option, right?
Yeah, it's entry level gaming. If you think about it, it's like it's a great entry level.
As a gaming computer, whether in terms of like something that computes, right? In terms of like consoles are the best bang for the buck, right? Whereas PCs, you get a more powerful system, but you have to spend 3, 4, 5 times as much to get even a baseline, right?
Yeah, and plus also the PC components can be, say you buy the mediocre one in 1-2 years, it's already out of date. While the console pieces are good until the next console is released.
And then you have stuff like what is it, the Xbox Series X, that they're making it so that you can like swap out parts or something?
Oh, really?
Or is that something they're planning on doing? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Can't remember. I heard about that at some point. Or was it? Can't remember.
But I would say this, like, but you have them people who buy both consoles, right? Like, we're going to buy the PlayStation and the Xbox, so there's $1,000, right? Well, if you invest $1,000 and you went to, a website where you could get the components and put it together cheaper, for $1,000, you could build yourself a really nice, probably entry-level 1440p, at least max level 1080p, right? Well, guess what? When a new console would come out, it'd be $500. Well, you could just upgrade yourself to, with a $500 graphics card and you're good to go. And you can just upgrade little parts rather than having to buy a new console every time. But I agree that the barrier to entry is steep.
Yeah, PC game and all. Like, I think all that exists, and then yet you still have kind of like here's the console. Like, you got to spend this money, and this is what you're gonna get for it. But and like again, like you see with the handheld market right now, where it's like you have handhelds like this one's $300, this one's $500, this one's $700, and they have different features so that you as a gamer get to choose what's more important to you.
Also, too, that PC price is without the cost of labor, right? As if you buy the parts and assemble it yourself, which I would argue, most people don't want to do.
Well, I think also that one thing a lot of people we need to consider is that the difference in why the prices are as cheap as they are, it's due to the fact that Microsoft or Sony makes 30% off of every game sale that's done on the console. So they can sit here and say, and that's why one of the reasons why you saw the prices go up to $70. Sony was like, oh crap, we got like Microsoft's serious with the Series S and Series X. Like, we got to make sure we're not $600. Otherwise people are, like, that's hard no matter who you are. And so how do you make up that difference? It's like, well, if we raise the price of games $70, like that, we're going to make that up. We'll cover the spread,
Which is crazy, right? Because you would think with them going to digital games. Like, think of how much money they would spend on hard copies and distribution, going to Walmart and stuff like that. And now they're distributing less because they're selling more digital, to the point, like I believe Brian said, console might be all digital next generation or something like that.
I don't know if next gen is next gen. You think is going to go all digital?
You have the Series S, and then you have the not Xbox, the PlayStation version, right?
Do you think that they'll sell like an add-on disc or something?
A digital-only version.
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
They make so much more money though on the game because they don't have to pay for hard copies and
there's no
distribution and
manufacturing
stuff.
fee
Exactly.
or cost, I should say, right?
Well, and shipping and store, like all those costs are all baked in.
The only thing, and I heard this before, eventually physical sales are going to be collector's editions.
Yeah, I can see
or where
that.
you get the physical copy of the game. And even then, like, you get the physical copy of the game, you put it in, and you still have like a 40 gigabyte download, right? Like, it's like a half-assed sort of physical copy.
Yeah.
So eventually you'll get the physical copy of the game, right? And it'll come with stuff like a map or like a poster or whatever, stuff like that. And eventually it'll just only be collector's editions,
I remember.
And they'll be like $100 to $300, that sort of thing.
I remember. I bought my first hard copy game on the Xbox One, right? And I was like, oh, cool, blah, blah. So I put it in there, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's play. And then it was like installing. I was like, I could pop the hard copy so it didn't have to install. We still have to install the entire game.
That's what happened. Yeah, because you have patches, man. You have content patches, and it's BS. You have. I don't even know what the hell
It's not like the olden days back in, say, PS1, PS2 era, where you'd take $60 game, and you'd have the whole entire game in 1 to 3 discs. I mean, another big part of the factor of marketing and whatnot, they release a game, but then they say, oh, we have some extra stuff for it, some DLC with an extra little cost.
Yeah.
A big part of the DLC was them trying to figure out how to, like, from a resale market, they were getting they're losing so much money to to the resale market. So they're like, well, what if maybe they won't resell their game if they have this digital content. So, I mean, all a gateway drug,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember first when they were coming out with the fact of the DLC, people were complaining about. Oh, so game companies these days aren't releasing their full game. They're holding stuff back so they can earn more money.
I think that was the downside of the DLC, because it's like, yeah, it's even on the disc. It's like, come on. Like, I'm expecting that I'm giving you money so I get more game, not the full game. And then essentially, when you talk about collector's editions, like, people are like, oh, the games are going to $70. I was like, I generally spend buy the $100 edition video game that has the DLC, that has all the stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we're about 2 generations away from $100 game being the normal, for the base game. I feel like.
Well, I mean, that's where something like PlayStation Now, and I think that's something where PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass actually kind of take that.
Maybe. I'm a bit skeptical.
$100 seems like it's going to be.
$100 is a lot.
Oh man,
sure
we've seen so many people frustrated at just 70. I'm like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Because again, you can price yourself, the whole value is volume, because you can make a game, you can spend 200, like Sony does, spend 200 some odd million on one game, and they're banking on that they're going to sell 5 million copies at this price. Otherwise, it's you price that too high, and all of a sudden you're like, well, we were going to sell 5 million, but now we sold 4 million. So even though we increased the price, we actually made less money.
Right.
That's crazy. They spent
That's a good point.
$200 on dev.
Well, that's one of the things that a lot of people I don't think understand about some of the problems that are plaguing video games right now. Is there's just and people are like, oh, just make a good game. It's like gamers are fickle, so you could sit here and be like, yeah, this game's gonna slap, we spend money, it's quality, and then it just doesn't, and then your company's done. You know, so it's like that. You try to mitigate those risks as best you can. There's no guarantees. And so that's why you see a lot of the companies not taking risks. And that's the value of Nintendo, though. Like, Nintendo will be like, you know what? We want to do this because we're going to do it. And they do it. And if it's a success, then everybody else kind of follows suit, you know. But if it's not, then it's not.
Well, that's like it's funny you say that. Like it follows success, like because that works with everything, right? You can even say that for VR. Like people, you're waiting for that one AAA developer to make that really good VR MMO for everyone else to truly follow suit, right?
Right.
Whatever the case it may be.
Well, that's the same thing when people were talking about like, oh, Halo doesn't need a battle royale. It needs its own special, cool, fun, awesome mode. But nobody knows what that is. And there's always the risk that whatever they make, people wouldn't enjoy it. And it's like, well, they can still do that too, but they should probably step into the genre that a lot of the youth are playing. Otherwise, they're going to grow up and be like, Halo, what? You know, that was my dad's game, you know.
What's the thing? You know, a lot of games these days that we like gush about are legacy IPs.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They're you know what IPs are, you know, kids playing these days, you know, between the ages of like, I don't know, 10
Roblox,
20,
Minecraft, you know. It's like
Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite.
Yeah.
What else? Maybe Call of Duty. You know?
Unfortunately. A lot of like, you know, when I need to get my is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 safe for kids video out, which is always.
Oh, you can literally make it. That would be the shortest video. It would be your most popular.
That's why they're shorts. I've been doing. I moved all my is it safe for kids to shorts, where I just break down the information for parents. But the comment section on a is it safe for kids video is absolutely hilarious.
Hilarious as in like
you get a lot. You get a lot of non-parents coming in going like, who in their hell doesn't know that this game is bad for kids or whatever? And then you also get a lot of that's the thing. I'm not. They are. They're shocked by this. And then I was like, then you get a lot of kids coming in here asking, how do I convince my parents to let me get this game? And that is in and of itself like the breakdown of a is it safe for kids video. It's hilarious.
I can see the Call of Duty 3 like short for you right now. It's just gonna be Michael Scott saying no when Toby comes back, and then
it's actually genius. I need to implement more memes into my videos.
You want more memes? Okay.
And his name is John C.
Mike, I need you on all my streams to be my sound effect guy.
But it might get
sloppy.
Oh no, I got drunk. All right, this is gonna be my last level, and then I'm gonna go.
I feel like you're getting way too happy with that.
Sloppy? Dude, I love sloppy.
No, with the soundboard. He's getting way too happy with the soundboard.
It's a joyful thing.
I don't know.
Dude.
Okay. I mean,
make a joyful noise unto the Lord.
We have you here for you. I'm going to make sure we don't get out of control, and also to
a test of your literacy.
Brian.
True. That's true. It is a test of literacy.
You can say it's happy, but there's nothing funnier or like more like awe-astonishing than a perfectly timed soundbite like live, dude.
I'm bad at that, man.
That's
like
very fair. I've seen those. Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, there's something over there too. Darn it. See if
It's a trap, Brian.
You know, I'm gonna try again. Yep, I can try again, baby.
I haven't liked Mini Mario in a while because he just looks like his body shrunk, but his head really didn't. So it's like a big head Mario, and he's like
it's like a chibi Mario.
Yeah.
Dude, the animation on this game is absolutely.
When I do hit the soundboard, it does pick up on your microphone and gives an echo.
Okay, good to know. Oh no! Oh, bollocks. I don't think I get another chance at that.
You don't get another chance. Okay.
That was cool. The little you can float with your hat.
Oh, yeah, so that's one of the badges you can do. They have a wall kick badge, a dolphin kick badge, and the parachute hat badge. So you basically, it's like a permanent power up that augments the way that Mario can, or anybody can play. But like if I just pull up the badges, and then there's also non-playable ones that have like auto super mushroom, add X special blocks, coin rewards that change up the game and stuff like that. So. All right. On that note, guys, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for everybody being here. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next stream. We tend to do these over on Sundays. Sometimes we do lunch and loots during the week. It all just depends on my work schedule. But thanks, guys, so much for being here. And I will see you guys next